once, even if you're attracted to a guy, once you have that initial attraction and maybe his voice is too light, or he has certain feminine qualities, that will instantly turn us off, no matter how attractive you are. So even though we, in our mind, it's not like, oh, he's not masculine enough, there's something I still feel like in our DNA most of the time that will make us go a different direction, even if we're attracted.
I'm not arguing with that, but what I'm saying is that they're not thinking about those things being masculine while they're attracted to it. Like for me, I just grew up to be like my daddy. Like my daddy is the most masculine nigga I knew. And he raised me, so I did what he did. I saw my dad have a bunch of women, saw my dad get a bunch of money. I started doing those things, and at my level, at my age, had these similar success. As an adult, it's the same thing. I imitated what my father emulated. I never was worried about it being masculine. I was more concerned about the outcome of what it is that I wanted to get and how I could achieve those things. And the parallel is, yes, that a lot of things that I had to do would be masculine. We'll consider being masculine, right? That's fine. But not very many people are thinking about that. Like, oh, I have to do this because it's the masculine thing to do. Just have to do this because it's what I've been shown to do, what I've seen done, it works, and that it will get me closer to my goal. I don't think that masculine men think about being masculine at all. If any dude is, the only people thinking about being masculine are like studs and gay dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question. What do you think about men who don't have a father in their lives? Where do you think they are pulling masculinity from? Or do you think that later on in life, they have to find that level of masculinity to then ascertain?
What do I think about? So you asked me a couple questions. What do I think about men that don't grow up with fathers?
Mm-hmm. Whose example of masculinity might not be there?
Then they're going to pull it from whatever resource they can get it from. TV, superheroes, movie stars, music, football coaches, other men that they are around, their mom's carousel, the boyfriend, if she has one. Like they'll pull it from anywhere that they see a man being successful and getting something they feel is desirable. And as far as what was the second thing you said? I'm sorry, I lost it already.
And then the second thing is like, if they don't have many male examples, do you think that later on in life they start to realize like, oh, I do a lot of things that are feminine. I need to be more like men. Like, at what point do you think that switch?
When women show them that they do. The first time a dude find out he acting like a hoe is when a woman points it out, not a guy. Because a guy say it just because he wants to be disrespectful. There's a conflict that comes from that. But we don't really care about those because we just fight and get that shit over with. But like when a woman that we like tells us that, hey, yeah, that's you kind of soft, or that's when we start noticing, because it's affecting the outcome that we want from a woman. And we want to make sure that we don't carry that same behavior to the next 10, 15 women we meet, because then we find out that women don't like feminine niggas. So we do what it takes to not be feminine niggas.
But can we just get some
I don't
clarity?
agree with that one.
Can we get some clarity?
I got a question.
First acting like a hoe. I thought we were talking about women and men.
Right. So acting like a hoe. Being
feminine. he said that the women would point that out to him.
Yeah, because all of us have told a dude that you're acting like a bitch right now, or quit being soft. And in that moment, it works. But when a woman that a man has an interest in or that he respects tells him like, "Hey, you're acting like a little bitch right now," it carries more weight, because again, he has something that he wants from that woman. He already reveres her for whatever reason. But someone that you respect and admire, and you want something from, their opinion of you carries a little bit more weight than just other guys that you're around.
I've never told a man that he's acting like a bitch. I wouldn't never even say that.
I feel like first of all, that's very disrespectful. And then two, if a man has friends and he's around his friends and he's not being, or he's being a little too feminine around his friends, they'll never point it out to him. They'll let him rock. It'll be okay.
I spoke to that.
Because for us to come out and say to a man, I think you're acting like a bitch, that's very disrespectful in my opinion.
There's no argument against that. I don't disagree. However, I spoke to, like, when we're around our friends, like, yeah, your niggas will tell you, like, hey, bro, you acting like a hoe right now. That's us telling him that. So in that circle, he may not do that thing. But when he's around a woman he likes or a woman he respects and he hears it from them, it hits different. It just simply does. Like, he kicking it with our homeboys. That social acceptance is easy to maintain. We can hang out with our partners that act like bitches all the time. I have friends that I know if we go out and some shit pops off, those niggas are not the niggas I want to be with. I understand that. They still my dogs though. But when a guy goes out, a guy's not going to be able to do that with a woman. Once a woman finds out that a dude is soft or acting like a hoe, or he's, you know what I'm saying, not cut like that, she's not fucking with him anymore. Well, excuse me.
So I think we got the phrase a little too literal. They might not say you want some hoe shit like straight up, but they'll say, well, damn, why didn't you protect me? Or damn, why does your voice sound like that? Or it could be anything where they just insinuate that you're not doing something masculine. Is that accurate? Well,
yeah.
Or are you saying straight?
At the end of the day, it's about who's saying it. That's what matters
Right.
a lot. Like it depends on who it's coming from. It's actually saying that to the man.
So, ladies, have you said something like that then?
I think most women will usually say, like, you know, what do I need you for if you're not going to protect me, or, you know, you're not a leader in my life, or it not even necessarily like that. It'll usually come out in frustration, right? And you might not tell him that he's acting like a bee, but you will call him a punk. You will say, you know, with you around, I might as well protect myself. I might as well call my dad. Right, I'm gonna call my brothers instead, even though it's a man in your household. So it still lets him know that you don't respect him on that level and he's not masculine enough for you. I did want to go back to what Willie said about when women are younger, you feel like they just go off of attraction itself and masculinity is not a big thing.
No,
I don't think
that it's not a big thing. It's that that's not what they're thinking about.
It's not what they're thinking about, right? So I don't think I agree with you that the word itself is not something that might come across our mind. But even if you're attracted to a guy, once you have that initial attraction and maybe his voice is too light, or, you know, he has certain feminine qualities, that will instantly turn us off, no matter how attractive you are. So even though in our mind, it's not like, oh, he's not masculine enough, there's something I still feel like in our DNA most of the time that will make us go a different direction, even if we're attracted, if they're not coming off manly enough in our eyes. So I don't necessarily agree with you.
That's what I was speaking to. In your mind, you're not thinking about it being masculine. It's just something that turns you off. That's all I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because women are saying like, oh no, you look like you're protecting me a little too much.
Right.
You know, women want provision. That's what we want. And I was gonna say, like the old version, a lot of times, yeah, you change, you grow, you evolve, you're different. What you once wanted when you were younger, you know, is different than where you are now and what you look for. But at the end of the day, you know, most women typically just want, you know, a man who's going to protect and provide. And that's who, if you think about it, you know, the macho guy, think about like the athletes and things like that. The ones who are, you know, I don't know, in high school or college, you see like the jocks, they're masculine. They have a certain like presence about them. Those are the things that are going to attract, you know, women regardless.
Well, for what you just said, I can push back. If that was true, there wouldn't be so many single mothers that are having athletes or having babies by athletes, rappers, and drug dealers. Because again, when it comes to what women are attracted to, look at who they fuck, not who they marry. Because oftentimes
we're talking about women being attracted to them.
Right. Again, that's the point.
So those percentage of men get all the women coming at them.
Women swear that they're attracted to masculine men who do all these noble things, except they reproduce with men who don't. Again, if you want to look at what a woman is really attracted to, look at who she sleeps with without commitment. Look at who look at the dick she'll ride for fun, not the one that she wants to protect and provide for her, the one that she's going to fuck without him doing any of those things. Because there are a lot of women, I'm not going to say all of y'all, but a lot of women will have different standards for niggas they fuck and then niggas they want to marry. And the standard for niggas they want to marry tends to be significantly higher. However, the dudes they just fuck get the exact same benefit.
1000%. I definitely agree with that.
I agree with that too. Will we say the same thing about men as far as like who we fuck versus who we marry?
Just the opposite.
Like as far as like the girls that we fuck are what we attracted to, and the ones we marry are what we.
So I think ours is in the right way, because the one we marry, you know, has to have all these great qualities, right? And a lot of us tend to. I think more men require their woman to be just as, you know, for fuckable on the for fun side as they do in the wife, because it's something we can require, because those of us who can command that type of attention and who can also have women who want that type of commitment from us, that we're going to have higher standards than a woman will. Because at the end of the day, marriage is what we control access to. Sex is what women control access to. And we don't give away marriage all willy-nilly the same way that women give away sex.
That's a fact. I wanted real quick. I just wanted to circle back to what Willie said, and I guess I don't know if my experience is just different, but I learned early on not to listen to women when it comes to like what masculinity is. Like, cause I grew up in a house with 3 sisters, right, and my mom and my grandma. So I learned early on that they will weaponize some shit real fast. Why you arguing with us? You a boy. I'm like, what? I can't communicate and give my point of view. Like, I learned early on that they just be talking bullshit. They just be talking shit. So I learned not to listen to them early. So
that's why my father took me from my mother. She has 4 sisters. They had 23 kids amongst them. I'm the only boy, and I was the youngest. My dad said I couldn't leave you over there because you'd have grown up to want to suck dick when you was little. Like, so that's exactly his thought. And this was in 1983. So this is why he made sure that he kept me, because he wanted to save me from what they would have become. And now when you look at my cousin's kids, a lot of them are everything that my father protected me from. And it's because they only have those male, that female guidance and female influence. And for a lot of my cousins, I'm the only consistent, non-pookie influence that they have. So shout out to my pops for that one.